In business, there are certain things that remain stable, like vision, mission, values, principles, code of conduct. Uh, Once set, they remain the same, right? They should ideally not change over time. What keeps changing are the tactics, the goals, the milestones, the processes, and so on. For every project, company, or idea, you need to set the foundations on which you build the rest of the building, right? Rest of the project, rest of the company. uh, you should not be questioning them again and again, and it should ideally become a way for you to decide, like your values, your vision, your mission, your principles. All of those things should become a deciding filter for you in order to understand and dissect the opportunities that you will have. Because the moment you start having positive momentum, the moment you have even the slightest bit of traction in the marketplace, you will get a lot of inbound opportunities, right? And so today I really want to talk to you about this concept of stability and mobility, uh, which is again part of this series that I'm doing, which is 100 days, 100 business concepts. And the whole idea is, it's just this, it's just literally this, that hey, there needs to be certain things that become stable as you move forward, and there needs to be certain things that needs to be mobile, or that can move, that are flexible, that is stretching, right? But on certain things that you've decided, okay, this is our foundation, this is what we have, it's it's there, it's stuck. And you know where it kind of evolves from, or originates from? This whole idea of stability and mobility comes from Iyengar yoga. All right, so something that my dad shared, and my dad is an Iyengar yoga practitioner and teacher in Jaipur. And so he mentioned this: he, in every asana that you go, uh, you have to keep certain aspects of your body stable, like very fixed. So if I'm doing like a standing asana, my legs need to be fixed, like in whatever position that they have decided. And then the mobility part is probably in the trunk, right, the upper part of the body, right? And similarly, in some other asana, it would be something else, like you have to keep your hands stable, and then your legs, or the lower body is kind of moving, right? uh, and that I found really true for business as well. I think it's so crucial to have like these certain pieces fixed, and over time, as you evolve, there will be more and more things that start becoming fixed, that you don't change, that are essentially the foundations that you're building over time, right? So for example, your vision, mission, and values, like these three things have to be, you know once you decide on these, once you fix these, then you cannot keep going back and change it, you cannot keep going back and shifting it, right? Because they are the guiding light for your business. The vision essentially determines in what direction you're moving, right? It's essentially the direction part of it. You cannot just randomly do stuff and not know where it's going. Similarly, the mission, that is what you're rallying towards in the near future, that mission needs to be very tangible and real, right? It cannot be super vague, and it cannot keep changing, right? Elon Musk cannot come and say that, hey, yesterday the vision was to reach Mars, or to make humans interplanetary, and the mission is to reach Mars till whatever 2050, or whatever his timeline is. And he cannot come and say, today our vision is to, I don't know, uh, to make uh, mankind enter galaxy, right? I mean, it could be possible, but not right now. That is too far a vision for us to visualize. And similarly, he cannot come and say, okay, oh, let's chuck Mars, let's go to Venus. Okay, because the moment someone does that, it kind of breaks their credibility and it breaks the momentum that they've built over time, and it shifts your perspective. It will require a whole different value chain, a whole different way of looking at the problems, and so on and so forth. And similarly, values are in self are so crucial. Values like how you're talking to your customers, how you're talking to your employees, how you're talking to yourself as an organization, right? What do you value as an organization? Do you value honesty? Do you value punctuality? Do you value customer service? Do you value something else, right? I mean, Amazon prominently says that we want to be the most customer centric company in the world, right? The moment someone says that, that becomes a value system for them, right? So if that that needs to be a filtering system for everything else, right? So the moment I say that, the moment Amazon is saying that we want to be the most customer centric company in the world, that means that their customer centers, every time you pick up and talk to their executives, they need to be polite, they need to listen to you, they need to resolve it quickly, they need to figure out the processes to make that happen as soon as possible, right? I'm not saying they have to be perfect all the time, but I'm just saying that they need to filter out all of their decisions through this one single line that they've decided that they value, right? And so it's important to understand that these things like vision, mission, values, principles, code of conduct, these are things that you have to fix, right? They need to be set in stone. Essentially, they might change. It's not that you cannot change them completely, but they might change, but it changes very slowly and it changes rarely, right? So that's the idea. So once you have these things as the foundations, then the next layer up is the team that you're building, the organizational system, the tactics that you're going to be using for lead generation and for conversion and for operations and so on and so forth. All of those things can change. Now all of those things can also change to a certain degree, and after a point, once you have the systems and processes in place, they also become fixed, right? So after a point, after doing something for like 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, you will realize that, hey, there's like a clear system that we are following. We've been following that for 1 year, 2 years, and it is working really well. So every time a customer onboards, these are the 5 steps that we follow, and that's fixed. You don't keep on questioning them again and again. You should ideally come back to them, revisit them, ask yourself, is it still true, right? You have to be flexible about that as well, otherwise you will become completely irrelevant very quickly. But yes, if you have to be also honest, like when you ask that question, you need to be honest about the answer, that is it changing, is there a need for it to change, or am I just trying to brute force my way through it? So that's the idea. That's the stability part of it, and the mobility part of it is just being flexible about your decisions. Jeff Bezos has this really cool idea and really cool mental model that there are 2 types of decisions that every individual and team takes, which is one-way door and two-way doors, right? There are one-way doors. That means once we make that decision, we move forward, and we just have to go through it, and it's irreversible basically. But then there are certain decisions which are two-way doors. That means you can go and then you can come back. There may be loss of time, there may be loss of capital, there may be loss of resources, but it's not a huge loss, and it can be recoverable. And it's more important to come back to see that this was a wrong call and come back and take the next decision, right? To go in some other direction. So there are certain things that are one-way doors. There are certain things that are two-way doors, and so you have to recognize that, and that's where the mobility comes in, right? That's where your flexibility comes in. That, okay, if it's a one-way door, what do I need to be? What kind of an organization do we need to be in order to actually go through that one-way door and come out to be making sure that it comes out to be as a positive decision, right? So what resources do I need to add or subtract or build, or features to add to, or like a new product that we add, or whatever else, right? And that's the mobility part. Similarly, if it's a two-way door, then then also, like, what is the kind of what all other options do we have, in is this the right direction do we move into, and so on and so forth. So all of this builds into each other, and it's really important to understand that it is one of the fundamental concepts. No business book, I don't think any business book has ever mentioned it yet, but I feel that it's a really important concept to have as a business person, as a founder, as an entrepreneur, as a manager, to realize that okay, there are certain things that are completely fixed, right? That makes the entire business stable, that makes the entire business work the way it works. And then there are optimizations, the improvements, the constant improvements that we keep on doing, right? For example, in marketing, we do this a lot, right? In marketing, especially direct response marketing, uh, there's like a base layer, whatever that's called, like uh, you do A/B testing, right? That's the mobility part of it. So you do A/B testing. You send out letters or emails to say thousand people, right? So you send out 2,000 emails. 1,000 people get one type of email. The second 1,000 people get the second type of email. You see which one is the better one. You select that better one, and then you do the A/B testing again with the third concept. And this is how you do these concepts again and again and again. So once you have experimented with say 5 different scripts or 5 different emails, you will realize okay, one of them is working really well. So you say that this one is my base, right? There is a technical term for it, but I'm missing it out right now. But this becomes my base, and this is what I'm gonna judge everything on. So whatever results I'm getting through this, everything else, every other piece of copy, every other piece of ad, I will be judging based on this, based on the performance of this, right? So now, once I have that one email, now I can change the headline, now I can change the image, now I can change the body text, now I can change the offer, whatever else. So all of these variables I can test, I can check, I can test, I can check, I can test, I can check. I have the results of the base. Okay, when I run it, send it to 1,000 people, 10 people respond, and like, so that means there's like a 1% conversion rate. But at the same time, over here, if I change the headline, am I seeing 2% conversion rate? When I change the photo, am I seeing 3% conversion rate? When I change the offer, am I seeing 10% conversion rate? Right? And I try multiple things in that as well. But this becomes stable, right? I don't change the entire format. I don't change the entire thing all at one go. I change one little thing slowly, slowly, slowly. So I check for 5 different headlines and see which headline works, put it over here. I check for 5 different images, see which one's the best one, put it over here. I see the I try 5 different offers, see which one works best, put it over here. And every time I do that, I'm taking my base from here, which was the initial one, and I'm slowly, 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 slowly building that up, building the value up. Once I have the final version, whatever that final version is, or rather, I would say, whenever we stop experimenting, whatever is left at that point is the final version. And that final version is something that we push in all of the channels, right? Then we push it forward with all our force behind it. So that becomes like a stable piece of material that can be sent again, as many times as we want to. That becomes a campaign letter, campaign email that we send out again and again as part of our fund, right? So that is the stability part, and the mobility part is the optimization of it, the constant tinkering, checking, trying out better things, trying out different things, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I think I hope you understand this. It's a really important way to look at the business. It's a really important way to look at your activities, in fact, because it's very easy to put equal weightage on everything. It's very easy to do that, and I wouldn't want you to do it. I try not to do it myself, right? So for me, there are certain things that are stable when I'm making videos, right? So the thing that is stable is that I'm gonna I decide that I will make videos over here, because I like the acoustics of it, because I like the setting of it, and so on and so forth, right? So that is, I've made that stable. But what is it that I'm changing every time? I'm trying to be more intentional about the content that I'm sharing. I'm trying to prepare better before I come and record this. I try to have a better uh, headlines, as in titles, every time I do that. And so in small little ways I'm able to build that capacity. In small little ways, right? So that is like the mobility part of the picture. So yeah, I hope you got this idea of stability and mobility. uh, there are certain aspects in your business that are fixed and that you need to take care of, and that you need to be very conscious and intentional about when you're deciding. But there are other parts of it which are not, which can be optimized, that needs to be flexible, that needs to keep on changing again, right? And yeah, that's about it for today. I think I hope this video helped you. We're doing the 100-day 100 business concepts challenge. These are the best business concepts that I've found out. I share business concepts, mental models, ways of thinking, and frameworks across everything that I've learned so far in the last decade of just researching about business, understanding business from the ground up, and understanding what really it is. And so, yeah, I would appreciate if you put down the comment, what did you like about this, where do you think you can apply it, and what would you like me to cover next, any particular concepts or frameworks that you might have suggestions for, and I'll try to cover that next time. And if you have any particular questions about this particular concept also, then put in the comments, right? Do subscribe, do like and share this particular video, and I am gonna see you in the next one. Bye.